What is going down, everyone? It's time for Mojobreak.com, the hype, episode 313. Topps Chrome update is on the horizon. National Treasures basketball is on the horizon. Definitive baseball. We got Messi. We've got all kinds of stuff to talk about today. Wembanyama's set the world on fire, so we're going to discuss that. We're also going to talk about quarterbacks, where we think we should put some of our collecting money in which quarterback. So that's coming up as well. A Babe Ruth card that might possibly sell for more than most people's mansions out there, which is crazy. So we're going to talk about that.
Most people's mansions.
The one that do have mansions. But, I listened to last week's show. I wasn't here, but I did want to point out the fact that, it looks like poor Cody got attacked for his Niner fandom. And I think Dan,
we would never attack somebody who loves Justin Herbert as much as Cody.
And Dan is so butthurt about the 49ers. Was there a possibility that usher at the Cowboy game was probably just a Cowboy fan because they also have 5 Super
They do
Bowls,
have
by
5
the way.
rings. They do.
No. He said he was a Niner fan. He's like, bang, bang.
Oh, well.
And right there's a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
You didn't include that last week.
I was going to say, so I have heard Eagles fans use the bang, bang before. But, the 5 Super Bowls, that's a dead giveaway. Bang, bang plus
bang.
5 Super Bowls?
He was a
Dead
Niner
giveaway.
fan. He said he was a Niner fan.
Wow.
That's also a dead
He's like,
giveaway.
I'm a Niner fan. there was. I forgot to mention that when we were. Go Niners.
That's what the usher said?
Yeah, dude, he was
Man.
scrub.
I guess the Cowboy fans and the Rams fans can unite for their hatred for the greatest team. Actually, it should be called America's team, 49ers. But
May never win another game.
No, we're gonna destroy.
never win another game.
Destroy Trevor Lawrence.
It's going to feel a lot better.
Chase Young 5 sacks, Bosa 5 sacks.
Chase Young is not going to be out there enough to have.
Oh,
that
he's
sack.
Folks,
already intertwined.
Steve
in
Wilkes is on the sideline.
Oh yeah, they announced that as well.
I like how
Everything's
I like
fine.
how that is the problem. That is
I know
not
we
the
talked
problem.
about that too.
He could not coach any differently on the sideline than he could in a press box.
You can give him a old, get a high five, a slap on the tush, that you couldn't get up there in the box.
Is that a real thing? Like, how many games of this season where you guys won and lost? Was he on the field and not?
He's
on
not
the
been on the
He's
field.
always been in the booth.
Yeah, so they were 5-0 with him in the booth.
So what was the big deal of him being in the booth then?
But Vic Fangio, I think, is always in the booth as well.
Vic
And
Fangio was in the booth.
and he's always been known as like one of the greatest defensive coordinators.
He's very good. He was very, very good.
So
So
we're right in the ship. Our team comes out. I mean, you guys got Brett Rippon, and we go out
no,
and
we
get
had
Chase Young.
we had Brett Rippon. We had Brett Rippon.
Now you got Carson Wentz.
Brett Rippon, maybe a great guy.
Wasn't he?
I have no idea.
Who would you rather have, Brett Rippon or Josh Johnson?
Josh Johnson.
Oh wow,
Brett Rippon
Wow.
was a Broncos rookie, right?
Yeah.
That's why.
Brett Rippon must have
They don't scout well.
the tiniest hands in the history of all quarterbacks.
Wow.
Because he was fumbling the ball and kicking it around, and it looked like he wasn't ready.
Tinier than old Tiny Hands Pickett himself, man.
Or Alex Smith.
Alex Smith,
tiny
That's true. He had
hands.
tiny, he had small hands. Rams are becoming this the place where formerly good to great QBs go to rebound. I mean, you had Baker.
Are you putting
last year
Carson Wentz in the great
in
category?
the formerly good.
I mean, he's great now.
Formerly good.
Formerly good. He
Champion.
had, almost should
Got a
have
ring.
If he had been healthy, he'd have been the MVP.
But he
that
got a
year.
ring.
He did get a ring.
He did get a ring.
Have you seen the video?
You can make
by the
an
way,
argument that if they don't get there without him.
They
They were 11-0.
They
were
don't get there
11-0.
without him. They absolutely don't get there. There's a video that just resurfaced of him in the locker room post Super Bowl win, not looking happy.
2016, the Rams they've had both first and second pick now.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I think the Rams have had I think Jalen Ramsey might have been that year as well, and he was like a top 5 pick.
Yeah. So it happened with Baker. He had the rebound. Now
Stafford
Carson Wentz.
I think Stafford's good. I think he's playing. I think he'll be back. Don't worry. I'm not
He's,
worried.
he's got half of the names of the team now.
Well, I have him on my fantasy, so.
I think he'll be back.
Well, you know what I noticed? I see that you're, growing the facial hair in, and I think it's a great idea, Cody. I saw this today. Jason Kelsey, a finalist for Sexiest Man Alive.
Yeah.
It's giving guys with beards and bellies hope.
Jason Kelsey, God bless him. I was starting to get sick of the Kelsey brothers. Honestly, I was starting to be like, man, do I really need to hear from these guys? And then that happens. Good for him, representing us portly bearded fellas.
Yes.
What didn't you like?
win.
What did you like hearing about the Kelsey brothers
Just
so
at a
much?
certain point,
Did I
it's
just
like
get called portly.
no me. I'm talking me.
But
Now,
Doug-
wait
Doug
a
was
minute.
like
Me
looking
too.
at
That
me,
was
he
No,
my
was
but you
like-
got the
intention.
beard going. You got the beard going. It's a
Dude,
bearded
I haven't.
gentleman.
I grew this out like, dude. I shaved at 8:00 in the morning. Like it just, it just, you shave and it just
talent.
grows out. I can't do anything
That's
about
talent. That's a talent.
it. Well, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
The dad bod is in. I was just talking the other day in the shop about the fact that, you know, you walk around the mall and you see plus size women mannequins, but you don't see the plus size men. You don't
It's
see the
coming.
plus size men on
Yeah,
TV.
what's up with
coming.
that?
You don't see that.
Well,
so Jason Kelsey could be ushering
Jason Kelsey opened the door.
Are
the
you
dad
telling
bod.
me? No, we've always seen plus size men on TV.
I was gonna also
Like,
say-
No, I mean, but like if
does
you're,
John Goodman ring a bell?
John Goodman.
but you know, if you're having a like obsession commercial, you know, for the
the
cologne,
dad from Family Matters.
You're
I was
not-
gonna say the classic big guy with
Mr.
with a
Belvedere?
beautiful wife, King of Queens, Kevin
Yeah,
James.
Kevin James.
True. But they're not you having a model jeans or shirts or anything like that.
Yeah, you don't got them playing like Captain America. And stuff
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah,
Where-
fair.
Iron Man and Thor. What's
But
up?
I don't think you're seeing that either way.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
think that's gonna
I
happen.
don't think
I
none
don't
of
think
that is
that's-
happening.
The
I
dad
wanna-
bod is in. You
Dad
know,
bod's in. Dad bod superhero.
dad bod superheroes. We need to
So,
get somebody in there.
Everybody, stop going to the gym. You're wasting your time.
You're wasting your time.
One thing I'll let you guys all know is that I do wish I could grow the beard 100%. I wish I could grow the beard, and I don't know, maybe I'll be seeing those advertisements on Instagram where like you could like, you know, work on growing your hair a little bit by just like poking little needles on
You
your
should
face.
just-
Oh, I gotcha.
You should just
Draw it in.
just draw a beard on. it.
Go full Carlos
Just-
Boozer.
I know that mustache you got going on. Was that 3 years working?
Yep. Yep. So
But
School
that means
Sharpie.
you're aging well, right? So I mean, because I've got the grays coming in now. But let's talk about what's going to be new on deck here for the hobby. Some new releases. We've got NT basketball dropping next week. That is the 2022-23 rookie class with Paolo. Chet's playing really well.
amazing.
Shaden Sharp, you know, so there's going to be some big chases. Same day, Chrome Update comes out. And if you haven't heard about Chrome Update, that's where the debut patch 101s
Big time.
are going to land. I did want to talk a little bit about controversy around that release that I saw on X. I guess I still call it Twitter, but Twitter X, you guys know what I'm talking about. There is the odds that were posted on what some of these cards are going to come out. So they have the hobby version, they have the jumbo version, which is 1 auto in hobby, 2 autos or 3 autos in jumbo, and then there's the Breaker Delight version, which has 2 autos. But on the odds, they posted it as Breaker. So people are reading into this and they're going, finally, they're transparent about loaded cases for breakers because they're saying the breakers are going to fall at X amount of odds compared to the jumbo and the hobby.
It says breaker.
It just says breaker on the
Oh,
odds.
Interesting.
So people are taking it and they're not looking into the 3 different items that they
Yeah.
have, and they're
Yeah.
thinking, and, you know, there's been a lot of controversy from some of these YouTubers about tier 1 and stuff that's been loaded for breakers on Fanatics, and so now like that segment of the community is embracing the fact that, you know, they're giving breakers loaded cases, but in fact it's Breaker Delight.
Breaker's Delight version.
Which I honestly hate the name. I'm sorry. I know my paycheck is paid by Fanatics, but I don't like the name. They should call it something other than
How
Breaker.
about they just call it Delight?
Yeah. Let's just go with Delight.
Yeah.
Delight.
Yeah. Topps Chrome Delight. Choices
I mean, we've had this conversation before. I've talked about it. I don't think it's a good idea. They should not make SKUs that are specifically for breakers that have the breaker name anywhere on it. I don't know why we're doing this. Why don't we hobby and jumbo? Perfect.
Super Jumbo.
Super jumbo.
Choice.
Jumbo.
Choice.
Super
I mean, that's
duper
essentially what
jumbo
it is.
and ultra jumbo. Also fine ideas.
Essentially, that is what Breaker Delight is. It's just Topps Chrome Choice. Like, it's Panini's been calling these SKUs Choice for a while.
Yeah, call
So-
it anything else. I call it light.
call it
Call
Delight.
it. Don't call it breaker. Anything.
Then you're just inviting the criticism. Then you're
I
inviting
mean, if
all
you're
of
doing
the
it, if you're doing it to
negativity
try
from
to help us
people annoying
breakers,
it.
it's not helping us out.
Right.
But the counter argument to that is making products, because the Breaker Delight version is only 12 cards a box, all refractors, 2 autos, so breakers can get through it faster. Right? So that is the
Yeah.
point of of why they made the SKU.
But you can call it delight, and there's no attachment to breakers.
I can't disagree with that. I agree. I don't. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could also make the argument that they called it hobby for hobby shops, right? We don't have like a trade show version or a mall version. So, but I mean, it's definitely segmenting the hobby. Breaker Delight is available for anybody to purchase. You can get it on any of your retail sites as well as mojobreakshop.com. So it's not like an exclusive club for those that think that it might be. It's not. It's available everywhere to buy. I think it's retailing for around $250 a box. I want to say Hobby's retailing around $149 with the one auto. The weird thing with Chrome Update is that they're now doing a 6-box case on Hobby.
Yeah.
As opposed to a 12.
Very strange.
And a 10-box case for Breaker Delight.
It almost feels like the Hobby version is the Breakers version because there's only 6 boxes in the case.
Yeah.
Right. I was trying to figure out why they did that. I was thinking maybe it's easier to ship 6 boxes. It's cheaper to slap a label on a 6-box case to ship it out to shops. Or shops that felt like they got 5 cases last year are now getting 10 even though they're getting 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a great point.
That actually might be the reason.
I'm getting 10 cases
That's a
this year.
great point. That's a great point.
You know what it is?
I think you just figured it out.
We just
you
got
cracked the code.
the Hobbies version of. If you ever see those videos at football games where like the large beer versus the regular beer, and they pour the large beer. In the regular cup, it's like, and it's the same.
Well, didn't they do that with Starbucks? That the small,
Yeah, same thing.
but there's no way that small cup fits in the venti.
Right.
It's not possible.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think they did that with McDonald's
Something.
drinks or some food chain.
Something like that. Me and Dan actually had well, I'm going off on a complete tangent now, but we had an idea. You remember Morgan Spurlock, right? With the
Sure.
Supersize
This
Me?
is it. This is a little.
This is a great
That's what
idea.
happens when you're sitting on Fanatics Live and you're trying to sell some PYTs. You come up with great ideas.
We wanted to take a healthy individual, and I don't condone this, so if your kids are listening, put earmuffs on, but we're going to take a healthy individual and have one healthy individual eat McDonald's for 30 straight days like Morgan Spurlock.
The 3 meals a day. Yeah.
And then have another person eat healthy food but smoke a pack of Marlboro Reds for 30 days and compare the health qualities.
After a month, who's in better shape?
Yeah.
So one person's got to be like a
Marlboro Man?
vegan for a month, basically.
Yeah,
You're
you're
the Hamburglar.
Dude, I think the smoker will be in better
Yeah,
health.
that's what we said.
Probably.
That's what we said.
Probably.
Because if you're eating healthy,
Yeah.
then you're maybe damaging, I guess, your lungs by doing the smoking, I guess, and like you won't be able to maybe
But I don't see no warnings on no Big Macs.
No, the smoking is a long-term effect, whereas I think that much McDonald's that quickly is a
will F you
short-term
up,
effect. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was an
Not
idea.
only will
we
you
had.
So
will you weigh a lot
the
more
moral
than-
of the story is don't do both.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what? You only live once. Just have 2 cigs hanging out the corner of your mouth and stuff your face with a Big Mac.
I
Why
also
not?
like apparently
Live.
when,
It's your
when
freedom to
anybody
live your
talks
life.
about smoking or cigarettes, it's always like Marlboro Reds, like they're worse for you. Like I don't know.
It's just like the go-to.
Is a Marlboro Red any worse for you than a Marlboro Light? And I know they don't call them lights anymore.
Yeah. No.
No, I mean
They're not.
Or like if you're like smoking non-filters. Are non-filters a thing still? Can you
Yeah.
can you get a
People
pack
still
of
roll 'em.
can you get a pack of non-filters?
Yeah.
You guys remember? Do you guys? You guys definitely remember. There's that one guy, and I'm sure there's a lot of individuals like this out there in America. There was that one guy that was on national news because he'd been eating Big Macs his entire life, and that's all he eats
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
every day.
That guy was probably on Super. I think he was on Super.
And he was like a
Yeah, he
normal
was.
shaped dude.
Yeah, he was skinny from what I remember.
But he just eats Big Macs for lunch and dinner, and that's it.
Everybody's made differently. Al Michaels has never had a vegetable.
Never
in his
eaten a vegetable.
life.
And just eats like steak and potatoes like every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, and he eats it at halftime.
I love it.
Like, what do you? That's
Al Michaels,
that is
I love
wild.
I would be taking a nap. Yeah.
Also, I saw something because, again, we'll get back to sports, but
Nah.
he ranked. He said, "I've never eaten a vegetable," and then went on to rank his
Yes.
5 least
Yes.
favorite vegetables.
Oh,
I'm
wait.
sorry, you're not allowed to rank them. You've
Yeah.
never eaten one.
asparagus is delicious, Al.
Asparagus is actually one of the
And it's
top
the gift that gives.
Yes,
Wait,
asparagus
where
is
did
definitely
he
a top
rank
tier.
asparagus?
Number one,
Number one,
worst.
and that is a
Oh,
top
that's
tier.
objectively
that's,
wrong.
That's probably the number one best of it.
One
Yeah.
of the best.
I mean, yeah, it gives you a little surprise a couple
Yeah,
hours later,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, hey,
I will
you know
say
you ate it.
My least
I can
favorite.
sit there and eat asparagus all
Yes,
day
you know what else
long,
gives you a
dude.
surprise a few hours later? Too much meat.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
I
Nah,
think
that's not too
Brussels
much-
sprouts
no
are the most overrated.
Oh, I love a good
vegetable. I know
Brussels sprout.
everybody loves them.
smell,
I
but
don't get it. Like,
I don't get it either.
Here's the thing,
I
though,
don't
is
get
that
it.
Brussels sprouts are only really good when you roast them in there and get them all crispy, but then also like drench it in like balsamic vinegar and Italian dressing and bacon.
They taste like little balls of garbage.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they
You just
got-
haven't had somebody make them right for you.
You know what the best vegetable is up there,
Garbage
top
balls.
3, but it's also healthy for you, and it's I think it's mainly Chinese people that eat it, is bok choy.
Yeah,
That's the best vegetable.
bok
right
choy.
there.
Yeah, bok
What does
choy
it taste
salad.
like if you could rate
It is a little bit bitter. I mean,
Hearty.
yeah, but it's probably the healthiest vegetable.
What is
you
it?
can
Huh.
have.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
almost
like
like
it's like a sprout?
yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I think
I'm
I've
s- I
seen
know
it.
I've had it
I think
before.
I've seen it before. I don't know if I've had it.
Surprised that I haven't had it.
Yeah, Dan, you're one of now. My mom, her line growing as I grew up, and I never had Brussels sprouts because of her. She would always say, "I don't eat Brussels sprouts. They taste like farts." So,
They smell like it.
Absolutely, 100%.
They smell like it for sure.
they're good, though.
They're bad.
God, some Brussels sprouts though, with like at a steakhouse.
So,
No, I got
Nah.
asparagus.
Asparagus.
asparagus, a little bit of
Cauliflower.
cheese. Yeah, cauliflower's good.
Cauliflower's delicious.
I'll take the Brussels sprouts.
Broccoli.
Even broccoli's good. Yeah.
The
Broccoli's
cauliflower rice, like make
Carrot's
you
good.
think you're
Green
eating rice,
beans.
is kind of
Maybe we could do
life-changing.
instead of taco fractors next year, we could do like a
Asparagus fractor.
asparagus fractor.
Creamed corn.
Let's get a
is,
bok
like,
choy fractor.
Weird.
Corn
I-
is the
it-
worst vegetable for you, I think.
Corn
It's
is
definitely the worst one for
corn
me.
on the cob is delicious.
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
Cream
yeah.
corn's really good.
Cream corn is good, but it is weird.
What about that thing
It's-
on the flea market where they be selling the Mexicans be selling?
Oh.
With the elote in there.
Oh, yeah.
You get
That's
me,
that's
yeah.
good.
Incredible.
But back into some sports car talk. Definitive. I noticed it was supposed to drop today, Dutch auction on Tops, but it didn't. They're pushing it back. I don't know when it's going to drop, but it's supposed to come out pretty soon, and it's high end. It's one of C-Rad's favorites. I was combing over the checklist. I didn't look over too much, but a lot of cut autos. But I noticed there's 2 dual autos, one's a cut and one's not, of Babe Ruth and Shohei Ohtani on the same card. So I don't know if it's going to be a
Amazing.
book. Dan brought up a good point. There's 2 of them to chase, probably one pitching and one hitting, I think, would be without, looking at the
Would make sense.
actual
If
cards.
I was a card designer, that's
Yeah.
what I would do.
To make them different. Yeah.
So I assume those are going to be probably some of the biggest chases out of that product, means that there's 2 of them. So we'll see when those come out. Conspiracy theorists will go wild if it comes out on Fanatics Live. We'll see if that does happen, but Definitive is around the corner. We've got Certified and Origins, 2 football releases this week, and 2 kind of a little different. Origins more of a rookie-based product. Certified has rookies, but also a lot of vet autos. So a lot of football to digest on Mojobreak.com, or get your box at MojobreakShop.com. And Messi's going to make his first appearance in what appears to be a flagship set of
Believe
MLS.
so, yep.
End of the month, MLS flagship is dropping. Just
Big
as
release.
if this month wasn't any crazier. Can I throw out another one that I think is going to be super underrated?
Sure.
Is Upper Decks, the Spider-Man No Way Home, which we have not seen the checklist yet, but potential to get all 3 Spider-Mans on one card auto.
One can dream.
One can dream. One can dream.
So that's what we have on deck coming out, and you can get these breaks at Mojobreak.com. Pre-sell on Chrome Update now. Get your team. We're also going to be doing it on Fanatics Live, and we have NT Basketball, which is going to be exclusively on Mojobreak.com. So grab your teams for that release as well, and chase those big logo mans and RPAs.
Yeah, I want to add with NT specifically. Sometimes when we get these release, because we're obviously getting the last few years coming out of the pandemic, like we've got a lot of these releases very, very late into the next season, even when these guys are not even rookies anymore. But this is one of the rare times where like a lot of these kids are actually still performing out their second year coming in, so it's a perfect
Chet
time.
is technically a rookie, too.
It's a perfect time to get to still chase a lot of these rookies. A lot of these rookies are still viable. And Paolo's having a great start to his season. Shaden Sharp is like one of the main young guys on that team now. And obviously, Chet Holmgren, like you said, is actually a rookie this year because he didn't play last year. So it's a great time for some National Treasure basketball.
And you got Jalen on the Thunder as well, so you got 2 really big.
and
chases on
Jalen
the
Williams
Thunder.
is also killing it for the
Yeah.
Thunder. Not to mention, like he easily could be the bigger player down the line. But I want to ask you guys one thing, because Definitive is a top 5 favorite product of mine every single year. That's the way it's been since they've introduced that line in football in 2015. I love the design. I love the product. what can Topps do with that product to elevate it to like a National Treasures and Flawless? Because that is like one of their best high-end products. I guess Diamond Icons is probably on the same level, right, at this point. Dynasty, of course, but there's only one hit in Dynasty. Like, what can Definitive do? Because like you said, it has the Shohei Ohtani, Babe Ruth. Like, I love it's literally my favorite product all across all sports, top 5 at least every year. So,
I mean, they have all the components because the batter silhouettes are in there. So you have the Logo Man autos, you have the Logo Mans.
But the batter silhouette has never.
It should be though.
It's never been considered like a Logo Man. And National Treasures comes out, and the RPAs, the true RPAs, are the rookie patch autos that you are going to want. Definitive doesn't have that. And I think, I mean, honestly, if you were to take the RPAs out of National Treasures, then you'd probably look at those two products and go, well, Definitive is better than that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
It's just the fact that, like, NT has the lineage and is truly the rookie patch autos that you want to collect.
Now,
Go
ahead,
ahead,
Cody.
I got something, though.
Yeah.
So we were talking about that Babe Ruth, Shohei Ohtani dual auto, right? Obviously, the Babe Ruth will be a cut. As collectors, would you guys want that dual auto, or would you prefer to have just the Babe Ruth cut auto by itself and the Shohei Ohtani auto by itself on individual cards?
I'll go first as the more casual baseball fan. I would say yes, I would definitely 100% love to have that card in my collection. One, because now I see that Shohei's career, the way it has turned out, that he is a one of a kind of all time. Like, you know, and the same way that they revered, like, Babe Ruth, it feels like. So having those two, like, possibly, you know, you don't know how much they can still produce more of them, I guess. But, like, how much more are they going to make throughout his entire career? We don't know. So I would, as a casual fan, I would love to have that card in my collection.
Yeah, my issue is that Babe Ruth cuts, I know there's a lot of them, but it still is a Babe Ruth cut auto.
Yeah.
I don't know if you should mess with that and put another autograph on that card. And I do love the fact that they're trying different stuff. That's something that, like, has not been done. And I haven't seen the mock-up of that card, but it's going to look weird to have one on-card auto and then a cut auto.
Yeah.
They do have, this is new. I'm going through the checklist to see if there's anything different. They have a triple MLB logo patch book cards. So Altuve, Bregman, Alvarez, Trout, Betts, Judge, Acuna, Riley, Chipper, Judge, Cole, Stanton.
So it's the Logo Man plus the autos.
No, I just says
Just the logo.
Just,
just the logos.
it's a book card, so probably with a logo, the MLB logo on all three.
Right. That's interesting.
That kind of, and Trout,
I like that.
Harper, Judge. So Trout's on too. They also have some specific definitive season 101s with Ohtani. I don't know what that's going to say. So they're definitely added a few more things. They have helmets in there. They have cut signatures of everybody you would think.
So it seems like they are trying to add more to it to kind of get it to that level almost. What was there something you were going to add?
I was
Cody?
going to say, well, two things. One, I think the most obvious choice for how could you have made this stand out, and we all thought it was, we'll put the MLB debut patch in there. Then you have a true, you have an RPA. You have your RPA that's on the level of an NT of a Flawless. It just made too much sense.
Cody.
Just saying. But we all know that. And two, to your point about the Shohei, I think Shohei Ohtani is the only person that you can do that with Babe Ruth.
No,
and I don't think
Barry Bonds, but I mean, yeah, Shohei
no,
would
well,
be a second. You know.
Well, again, I know there might even be Yankee fans who go, "Oh, but what about like Derek Jeter?" No, I really don't think so. I think that Shohei is so unique. What he has done, where at least as a two-way player, he is the only person to exceed what Ruth did on the field as a two-way player. So I think you have to honor that.
You want the dual auto?
I'll take the dual auto.
You're all Babe Ruth cut auto by itself. Get that out of here. Get Shohei Ohtani
You
on this
give me
card.
both options,
and I'm
taking
a huge
the dual.
Shohei. I want Shohei on his own card.
But don't you feel like we've gotten Babe Ruth cuts for so long? Like just having this variation.
I just don't love dual and triple and quad autos.
I get it. It will unless they do the design
cool,
very.
man. That's
it
gonna
could look
I mean,
weird.
putting my group break hat on over here. That's going to be a heck of a random.
Oh, and I just looked at it too.
Yeah.
One of the Babe Ruth is Red Sox, one of them's Yankees.
Yep, there's a Red Sox. So I'm assuming the Red Sox one is going to be pitching, and the Yankee one is going to be hitting.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, and we've talked about on the show before, does the dual auto, triple auto lessen all of the autos collectively? This is, to me, one of the exceptions where it elevates it.
What would you rather have, real quick,
such an exception.
a triple auto, Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, top 3 home run leaders of all time, or that card?
The triple auto. I mean, Barry Bonds.
Yeah, see, Cody even has to think about it. I was going to say Ohtani and Ruth.
But then with that one, you'd have to have 2 cut autos with the Barry Bonds.
Again, from the design standpoint, is anybody else thinking this is going to be weird to have a cut
It will be
auto
weird.
and then an
Yeah.
on? I mean,
I do. I think it's going to be weird.
It will be weird.
Unless they, but I'm confident them designers over there is going to figure it out.
Assuming it's a booklet, I'm guessing.
It's got to be a booklet, yeah.
Gotta be a booklet,
100%. Okay, so last thing before we move on. So you're saying that what makes a difference, big difference, obviously, is the RPA that people are chasing in these national treasures. So why? Then answer this: how come Topps has yet to figure out same level RPA?
Because
for their
I think
brands?
they've pigeonholed themselves into the first Bowman. It's just a different card collector, and they've always leaned on that, even with like triple threads and stuff over the years that have been RPAs. I just don't think the baseball collector has translated
Which is
into,
weird because the modern collector, we love the true RPA.
for basketball and football.
but what if they came out with a first Bowman, have the first Bowman on there, chromed, thicker cardstock, and then have a patch in there? Like, I mean, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel over here, but I think that's a pretty obvious. Like, if I'm sitting there on the design team, I'm like, if I'm the first one to come up with that, I'm like, nobody else is doing their job.
There you go. Chrome Series 3.
No, but I mean, can't they make a higher end Bowman product that has a patch on it
Bowman
and then just call it like
patch auto?
Had the first Bowman on there, chromed over, same photo as what you're going to get in the first Bowman card. Just thicker cardstock, have a patch, have an auto on there. I mean,
that's what I've always been saying. I've said this on other shows too. Is like Fanatics should try to make their own brands. Like, it's just so weird that we've rested on, and I know you don't want to change what works, but it's like you've got Panini's stuff has Immaculate wasn't Playoff. Playoff didn't make Immaculate. Playoff didn't make Flawless. They made National Treasures, of course, but like these new designs were created and they become staples. So you could maybe change the narrative by making Fanatics high-end baseball and call it whatever. I mean, you know what I mean? Change the dynamic.
Yeah, because Immaculate was created off the back, like the person who made Immaculate, he was like, I want to make another exquisite. So he's like, let me come up with a new name, come up with a similar feel to what this high-end product. And I feel like Fanatics Topps, they got to figure that out.
It's so weird because they've done this Wemby stuff with Bowman because they feel like Bowman is the prospect product and Wemby was a prospect before this season.
Yeah.
But then they went and they did Topps Chrome McDonald's, which they could have just done Topps Chrome with Wemby, I would think would be a stronger brand than Bowman. But they've like relied on the fact that the Bowman is the pre-release cards. But then Topps Chrome is pre-pre, and it's okay to have Topps Chrome McDonald's only because it worked with Kevin Durant like in 2007.
Yeah.
So it's like, now we're going to go through a year without any Wembanyama cards, and it's going to be, I don't know when they're going to have Topps Chrome Wembanyama. So anyways, but speaking of basketball, LeBron James, Darren Rovell tweeted this out or X'd it out, whatever, that he is now going to be in an upcoming Bowman Chrome U release with his son. Dual autos been shown. No details from Topps has came out. No details from anybody else. No details from Upper Deck. So as far as we know, this is real because it came from Darren Rovell. He hasn't really kind of,
So he kind of like
not real.
He kind of like let the cat out of the bag before Topps was ready to even talk about it.
I'm sure somebody sent him this image and it was planned because Mario Alejandro on X said that he was sent this same image anonymously and had about an hour to post it, but he wasn't sure it was legit, didn't post it, and Darren Rovell beat him to the punch.
I will say Rovell's tweet, and again, he's been pretty spot on with most of this stuff. I don't think there's really been anything he's been off about. And again, if you guys know, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But it is very vague. He says, it seems like LeBron is in this, and all signs are pointing to LeBron James. It's nothing like sources are telling me, anything like that. So it is.
His wording is kind of like
It's enough
sus.
where he could back out to be like, well, I never confirmed it. I just got sent this, and then talked to people, and they were all being like, well, stay tuned, probably is what they were getting. And so, this is incredibly exciting if it happens, but also
Super
let's
exciting.
It'd be hilarious if it didn't.
It would also be kind
Well,
of
there must be some still contractual obligations for LeBron's likeness
That's
with
what it
Upper
is.
Deck, so they didn't want to say anything, but maybe they're like, if we release this to somebody else, we're not liable for any kind of advertising issues with Upper Deck if he's still signed with Upper Deck. We're going to let this out, and we're going to have – I mean, Darren Rovella is kind of like the Adam Schefter of the hobby, basically. It seems like a lot of people use him to break stuff, so they're probably using this to break. They're also getting data for their company and how the hobby is perceiving this, and also to see if they get a phone call from Upper Deck at this point too. So there's probably a lot of data being used in this tweet here. So, but I mean, this opens up the realm of possibilities. I'm thinking, can they only use him because his son's on the card? Is he going to have individual autos? Obviously when they have the NBA license, this is going to be huge when they start making basketball products and they have LeBron's auto. So I
think what this most likely is it's ushering in the new era where LeBron is now a Fanatics exclusive or whatever, or it has some deal with Fanatics, which then leads me to think, what product is not going to have LeBron James in it? We already know that we're getting Tom Brady stuff very soon from Fanatics. We're going to put him in Bowman.
I love how the first LeBron James card is him in high school.
I know.
actually younger than his son.
I know.
Yeah.
Younger than his son.
It's
So are we I'm throwing it out there. If there's a picture of LeBron James holding a lightsaber, Topps Chrome, Star Wars, getting a LeBron James auto.
Nah, man.
I know. Well, this
There's lots of photos of him throwing out first pitches. That's easy. No doubt about it there. Garbage Pail Kids LeBron, coming soon.
Now, has Bronny James, I don't follow college basketball, has he officially been on the court with USC?
He is still undergoing medical tests. The hope is that he will be cleared to play by December, maybe by January.
college basketball hasn't
December.
started yet,
It
right?
just started.
Okay.
Just started.
So obviously this card will probably be more than likely in a 23-24 product, right? So we're still ways away, I would think.
And
I believe this product, this Bowman Chrome University basketball, I believe is on Topps website as a pre-sale.
They did just release it, and it's got Bronny, it's got Angel Reese, it's got Caitlin Clark,
But
and now it has potentially LeBron. We don't know about that.
Yeah, we don't know.
But
But
it does say
now it's
Bowman
got-
Chrome U, so
So it's got
I'm
all
pretty,
those
I'm
and plus
pretty
that.
sure.
It's
I'm
pretty
pretty sure it's going to be coming out in the next
next few months probably.
couple months.
oh, okay, so sooner than we thought.
Maybe before.
you guys
turning
want to talk
time.
about LeBron's new mock-up autograph here? How do we feel about that?
It looks like a ZB.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is drastically different from the last time he was signing for Upper Deck.
They could have mocked it up at Topps or Fanatics. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like almost like a triple B or something.
Yeah, it's definitely got a
BBB.
different look.
And Blake Martinez, we learned this week that Blake Martinez was not able to retire off Pokemon.
He's
So
back.
He's back in the NFL, playing for the Panthers, which is similar to a Pokemon character, actually. I mean, they're probably about the same. And 'cause Pikachu probably would be better than Bryce Young. But he's out
Aw.
there. He's playing.
Ouch.
Don't know if he can scam packs out on there on the field. If you're a teammate of his, probably don't want to buy any Pokemon packs from him.
He's probably getting like Bryce Young autos to sell them on eBay.
Could be.
Man, that'd be tough. Yeah, so the whole thing, so he got kicked off whatnot, scamming packs, swapping out packs that he knew were not going to have the
Yeah,
higher
he was
end
running.
stuff,
He was, I
right?
think it was like a.
Yeah.
I think he was running a bounty.
So he was
And-
running like crazy bounties that you would get like 1 in 50 packs. Joseph, Mojobreak Gaming, shout out to them. Check them out on TikTok. They're going crazy over there. But for all your gaming needs. But he was explaining it to me that they would have some packs that were slightly open that he knew the energy cards weren't in there. And if the bids went lower than he would profit, he would grab those packs and be like, "Here you go." And you
Well,
didn't get it.
it wasn't necessarily him though. I think it was people who were working for him.
Right.
Under his name.
His name.
Yeah. I mean, he may not. He may not have known about it. Mike Vick may have not known that there was dogfighting at his house either. But, you got to hold the one guy that's in charge accountable.
Man,
accountable for it.
served his time.
That was we went everywhere there. There's a lot to digest.
Lots to unpack.
Lots to unpack there. Is that Blake Martinez on a Raider?
Yeah.
Is he a Raider?
He was a Raider at one point. Yeah.
Raider?
I don't know if
Now, so look.
Stanford.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yep. Well,
Oh.
not, well, hey, whatever. Good luck, I guess. Good luck? Should I be saying good luck? No, just kind of feels a little like karma. No offense, Panthers fans, that you scammed a bunch of people out of a bunch of money and you end up on the worst team in the NFL.
Well, he's on the practice. He's not even on the team.
And you're on the practice squad. Of
Well,
the worst
Bryce
team in
Young-
the
But he was able to show up and get on a
Yeah.
NFL practice squad.
There's something to be said about that.
Well, Bryce
nobody in this room was able to do that.
Well, yeah,
that's
well,
true.
like
That's
the
true.
the coaches there were probably like, we don't give a F about Pokemon. Come on, man.
No,
You
they
can
don't
play
care.
football. Come on, man. Let's go.
Well, Bryce Young scammed Michael Rubin out of a lot of money, too. So we'll see if that works out.
Who did?
Bryce Young.
Oh.
Speaking of Michael Rubin, did you see that there's that picture of what, and we'll talk about Wemby
because
here.
This is what we were talking about though, like months ago, dude. It's like you're taking a real gamble by signing like 3 or 4 or 5 of these guys to exclusive contracts when like you don't know what like.
But see, I think in
But they
his
can't even
mind,
use them. That's the
he's,
thing.
He's hedging his bets.
Could we?
One of those guys pops. It doesn't matter if the other three.
Bryce
don't
Young has no talent around him.
He's had nothing.
Yeah,
I'm not ready to pull the plug
I'm
on
not
it.
ready to go like, well, Bryce Young, that was a bust.
Yeah, no.
No,
I'm not there.
I mean, let's give him some.
I'm
time.
just saying I don't know
He's
what
no
the I
CJ
don't know
Stroud,
what the I don't
though.
know what the exclusive contract was. But
CJ
right now
Stroud's-
I'm sure he's not profited off of
Everything
Bryce
is clicking in
Yeah,
Houston.
yeah,
CJ
yeah.
Stroud is in an amazing situation that I think none of us expected.
Young. One game, guys.
Well, they're
One
also what? They're 4 and 5.
Yeah,
so it's not
they're-
just one game anymore.
they're
going to be
le-
like a
they're
6-7
legit.
win team.
They're
like,
legit.
Yeah.
6 or 7.
They
They might
yeah.
make the playoffs.
I mean, they do have a really good coach, but the fact that people are actually out there saying that they
was
would
the
rather
defensive
have
coordinator who is on the field, right?
That's right.
I'd rather have one.
That,
They'd
Fired
rather,
him
people,
up.
people would rather have C.J. Stroud right now than Brock Purdy. I was laughing. I was on Twitter. I was like, "Oh my God, one game, guys, one game!"
like in real life.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that those
There's
people
no
know,
doubt that people
those
don't know what they're
those
talking
people
about.
know football. If you again,
Here we go.
oh God,
man,
Brock Purdy for
every
blank.
single week,
Brock Purdy for
if
blank
you
segment.
are able to trade right now Brock Purdy for C.J. Stroud,
Ooh.
there is zero chance you're gonna be like sticking with Brock Purdy.
I'm probably saying yes.
You got it. You.
I'm
You
probably
know what I
say
think
yes.
happened?
I
I know you said your uncle gave you a Rams jacket, but I think the story you probably left out is that some kid that was a Niner fan took your milk. You could not fight him.
Okay,
and
well,
you
I
went
don't.
home,
I don't like
and your
milk,
uncle's
so I
like,
wouldn't be drinking milk.
your uncle's like, it's okay. You could be a Rams fan and fight against this guy.
We're
And you went
Rams
your whole
that
life.
in this house.
You went your whole life
That is-
losing.
that is the
to the
worst
Niners.
thing that you can ever do to anybody is make them a Rams fan. Come on, man. Like,
I can think of worse.
no, it very,
Can make him
I
a
mean,
Browns fan.
They're looking good this year. Miles Garrett's pretty good.
I mean, they did beat the Niners.
Yeah,
they did beat the
They
Niners.
actually
and
they
did
cracked
win in a
they cracked the
shutout.
code.
Browns.
They cracked the
actually
code.
look-
The Niners may because of that Browns game. The Niners may never win a game again.
Yeah, Browns actually look legit this
Browns
year.
look pretty
for
good.
real.
I will wear a blonde wig next week if the Jaguars beat the Niners.
You're gonna
Why
wear
a
a T-law
blonde wig?
T-law
A
wig,
T-law
basically.
wig.
Yeah,
Bro,
that's what I'm saying.
four losses in a row can't.
You can't.
It won't happen.
You're just done.
Well,
4 losses in
we're
a row. You
wrestling.
can't. I would like to know the stats of a team going on a 4-game losing streak and then winning the Super Bowl.
I don't know. It's a good question.
I probably never.
Probably
Probably
think
never.
maybe one.
There's
or two
probably a
teams in
couple.
history.
I don't
Yeah.
think so. Maybe 3, but I don't think 4.
All right, what we got? The Babe Ruth thing next.
Transitioning from Brock Purdy to Babe Ruth.
Yeah,
Babe
similar
Ruth.
category.
I would take Babe Ruth right now as a Niners quarterback over Brock Purdy.
Will Greer, 4 times the amount. 1914 Ruth card up for sale. And who's this going to be with? Heritage? Who's auction?
I'd have to double check that, but yeah, it's yeah, I'll have to double check it. But
What
by
does
the
product-
way,
where did this come out of? What product?
Baltimore
Can I
News.
go?
the Baltimore News
Can I go get some?
came out of the 1914
case break?
edition of the Baltimore News.
So was it
Baltimore
included with your
News.
paper?
It had the schedule of the Baltimore minor league team or the minor league club on the back. And that's really what the main feature was. It was
And
just to get
apparently
the schedule
they,
on there.
They wear like a flannel. It was like their jersey.
Yes,
What is,
a nice flannel.
So it's the equivalent of a prospect card for Babe Ruth. This is graded
Right.
a 3, which is I guess the finest known example, which is it's still red here, but people are saying that that one sold in 2021 for $6 million, and people are saying that this could possibly be $10 million. I don't think it will be $10 million in this landscape, but it is a very, very, very rare card of one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I'll say if it's the finest known example, I would say I would feel comfortable saying maybe 5 because you take that 6 number in the height of the pandemic, right? And so like in this landscape, I would say if it's the finest example, it should hit like 4 or 5 ish, in my opinion.
So it's the first time this has been on a public marketplace in 10 years, more than 10 years. And this is the best one to appear at auction in more than 15 years.
Also, it's
Sure.
not the finest known example.
It is not the finest known example, but it is one of 10 examples, and it's the
why
best
do I want
version in
this
about
card?
15 years. Because it is.
why
it's-
do I want this
Because there's a case to be made. It's the very first Babe Ruth card. That it is the first, not a case to be made. You could say, now this might be, oh gosh, I'm opening a wound here. This might be the star card Jordan versus the Fleer
Nobody wants
Jordan.
minor league cards.
That it's the first one. That this is the first Babe Ruth card.
What's the actual bet like most sought after Babe Ruth card?
It's hard to say. The Gaudy, I would
That's
say.
what's tough, yeah.
I mean, the Gaudy, there's more of them out there.
Mhm.
There's the Shotwells. I mean, there's different. I mean, I'm not a vintage expert, but, yeah, I mean, everybody's always hunting for Babe
Figure
Ruth.
they had a handful of newspapers that this went in, right?
At least
Oh
a
hell
handful.
yeah!
But yeah,
14 though.
Baltimore.
there's apparently only one of 10. By the way, Robert Edward Auctions is the auction house.
Interesting.
Good luck, guys.
Well, the card is very very red to me. There's like a lot of red.
A lot of red.
Corner's a little soft.
Yeah, a little bit.
Edging's not
I
solid.
need a
I
little
mean,
bit more color.
If my half Bitcoin goes up to $10 million,
that's
I might
also
try.
the thing. Like
I like the older cigarette cards because they're like black and white almost, right? It's like, but even those have a little bit of color, don't they? The cigarette cards.
This looks like a playing card.
It does.
Like
Well, it's a little bit bigger, right? It's 2 5/8 by 3 5/8.
It does look like yeah. So a little bit bigger.
Aesthetically, this is
He's
not
also,
pleasing.
by the way, and I know that picture's a little grainy. He's 19 years old in that picture.
Nice.
19, and he's like,
He was probably hanging out with Oppenheimer at this time, dude.
Probably was.
also, I don't know. It doesn't mean anything that potentially, when this sells, if it does sell for 10 million, let's just throw it out there.
it won't.
It probably won't.
I can't.
For
It might.
Yeah, who has $10
But
million?
I think
flying
though that
around?
people are not looking at this in the lens of like, oh, it's a baseball card. They're looking at this as like it's a historical artifact. at
it
this
is a
point,
horse or
which I
for
think
sure,
is
100%.
maybe what sets it apart. Where maybe people are going to justify that number, but regardless, that we may be looking at 2 of the top selling cards of all time are now going to be SGC graded.
Oh, yeah, the tuxedo.
Yeah.
The
I mean, it is.
tuxedo
I would rather
is
have
killing
that
it
than
right
a
now.
BGS slab. I'll tell you that.
Well,
much.
that's crazy.
The tuxedo's
Well-
killing it right now.
I mean, like for vintage baseball, we've said it plenty of times in the show. I think for vintage baseball, yeah, it's understandable because it's like a clean look to it. Like
I
at
think
point,
this-
people trust the SGC grade for the vintage. I
Yeah.
guess.
I'm going to go on a limb. I think this locks it in as the choice. If you have vintage, if you have anything pre-80s, then SGC, I think a lot of people are going to say that's where I'm going to go to
So
grade.
if you find a 1914 Baltimore News Babe Ruth card,
SGC.
SGC.
Go
looking
knock
around.
at their door. They're
Come
ready
on,
for
knock on
you.
my door.
So, I mean, what would the newspaper be worth?
The actual paper?
Yeah.
With the schedule and the card still stuck in
Yeah.
it.
Oh.
Well, probably, yeah.
I need to look exactly where did this exactly
Like, did
come
it come
from?
in? Did every paper have a Babe Ruth?
Actually, it probably wasn't stuck to it. It was probably just put on the inside of the
Yeah,
newspaper.
insert somewhere.
Yeah.
Baltimore
It's
News.
not like Sports Illustrated. Like it was probably just legit, like a newspaper
Right,
roll.
right. Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Baltimore News. Also, there's some that are like, see, now I'm looking at one that's a PSA 4 that's blue.
I like that.
So I don't know exactly what that means. I'm looking at the PSA.
10 million, huh?
Yeah,
10 milli.
10 million.
But, I mean, you got to think there was probably never like more than 1,000 in existence if it's just Baltimore News. I mean, population wasn't as dense as it is now.
The Baltimore News set is comprised. This comes from PSA's description of the card. Baltimore News set is comprised of cards that picture players from the two local teams, the Baltimore Orioles and the Baltimore Terrapins of the Federal League. Wouldn't be long till Ruth was on the mound for the Boston Red Sox.
Oh, so it wasn't only Ruth that was put into the newspaper.
No, it was
like,
other.
There was multiple
members.
players.
Yes, other members of the team. Again, for the
That's like
Baltimore
getting skunked.
Orioles.
You find one of those newspapers from 1914, and you're like, oh, James.
I got three-toed McGee instead.
Dude, not three-toe.
Not three-toe McGee.
Three-toe McGee, man.
Man's missing 2 units.
Mashed
That
potatoes.
dude was a baller back in 1914.
Oh
Is it time to switch over to some football talk?
Let's do some football.
Old mashed potato Johnson.
Moral of the story before we move on.
Vintage slowed that chat down to a crawl.
Hey, but vintage. That's where it's at, man. That's where it's at. It's vintage. Anyway.
Mid-season hobby quarterback rankings. I want to pitch this as, and I don't want to use the investment word because we don't like to use that around here, but like if you're buying a quarterback or 5 quarterbacks that are actively playing in the NFL now for it to possibly appreciate or that you like looking at it more in the future, which quarterbacks are you choosing? I mean, the obvious answer is probably Patrick Mahomes. But some of these other guys like C.J. Stroud with a big game. You've got Josh Allen, does throw a lot of interceptions. You got T-Law. You've got Sam Howell. Where are you going? And I've also got some interesting stats to throw along with some of your guys' picks. But we can start over here with C-Rad. Who are you going to take some of your money and start buying some of the cards if you had to make that choice?
Only one?
Yeah, I mean, you could have like a top 5 of sort. But who would be the number one?
The number one. From what I've seen this season.
It's going to be really hard for you to go Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I'm not going Patty Mahomes. Joe Burrow, number 1. Still number 1. Tua Tagovailoa, 2.
Can't beat a good team, though.
Yeah, there's that. 3, Lamar Jackson. 4, 4 and 5. I'll get these 2 guys on the screen. I like Sam Howell because he's part Korean, and C.J. Stroud because he looks like a pretty young, exciting football player.
Mahomes. Not a single Mahomes.
Why would I invest in Mahomes? That boy costs like $1 million for his cards.
But money's not an object.
The tricky thing is that like you're buying Mahomes right now, and it's so high.
True.
So
You're not
Lower than the
getting-
Pandy, though.
I mean, what do you? I think. And Stroud's difficult because what does he have?
Yeah.
What does
Right.
he? What does he have?
Mosaic.
What does he have that you would want to collect?
Just Mosaic right now, is it?
Prism will change that a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's not going to have autos. But not that
T-Law, I think, has a lot of upside. I think he will. Because right now, if you're thinking franchise quarterbacks, you're probably like Mahomes is 1 and Josh Allen's probably 2. Still, like people would probably rank Josh Allen 2.
I might put Burrow over him.
I think T-Law could be at the end of the year right behind Patrick Mahomes, and I think Burrow's there as well. So I think
The Bengals are bad.
I think T-Law. I think there is room with Burrow as well. Guys that I think have really fallen off. Love.
Yeah.
A lot of hype. Jordan Love, a lot of hype coming into this year. He was going to be the next Packer. I would stay away. Justin Fields, I'd stay away. Jalen Hurts, I think there's still growth there. He is young. That team is number 1 in the conference. They're probably going to get the first seed.
Overall, that team
Are
is
you
just
staying away from Hurts right now?
No, I'm saying.
Okay, I was going to say, I think Hurts
No,
is-
I'm saying I'm
yeah.
staying away from Love. I'm staying away
Oh,
from
sure,
Fields.
sure.
I'm staying away from Zach Wilson. I'm staying away from Herbert.
Unfortunately.
I think
I
the
think-
team overall, the Eagles are just like stacked, dude.
I think
They're like-
Herbert's prices don't make any sense with what he's accomplished. His team, because the team has to be a reflection of him, regardless of what he does
Right.
personally. Like the Chargers are not good,
4-4.
Yeah, they are an average football
but
team.
they've been average the whole time.
You
he's
don't have
been
Mac
there.
Jones on that list at all?
Don't have Mac Jones.
Why?
It's not even close.
Same stats as Trevor Lawrence. Right here.
Is that your bomb?
45 touchdowns to Lawrence's 46. 18 wins. Trevor Lawrence, 18 wins.
So you're telling me right now.
Passer rating, 87%. Trevor Lawrence, 85%. They've both played 39 games for Mac Jones, 42 games for Lawrence. Same amount of stats all the way around.
So you're telling me you are starting a franchise. And you can get one of these quarterbacks. It's your turn to pick, and Trevor Lawrence is on the board, and Mac Jones is on the board, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go Mac Jones on this one.
You know what it is?
I'm
Says
thinking, but the
nobody-
prices of Mac Jones are, you could probably got 10 Mac Jones in comparison to Trevor Lawrence if
Sure.
you're buying the hobby.
Doug, this is what you're.
Why does
this
everybody hate Mac Jones so much?
This is what
is it
this-
because he's a Patriot and
Must
you
be.
can
He's
never
not
you'll
Brady.
never
Yeah.
you'll never live up to Tom Brady.
And he's
No.
also just not as exciting. Like,
This is what the
yeah.
stats don't show that you just said. Like they have dead on similar stats, right? What you're not pointing out though is that Mac Jones, a lot of those stats was probably like his rookie season,
Yep.
early.
That's what,
Where Trevor
Cody was
Lawrence,
saying.
where he's coming on stronger now.
Yeah, because his rookie season was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
let's look at those stats 2 years from now, and I think it'll be a different story.
Yeah,
I had to throw Sam Howell.
but
on
that is interesting that they have the same exact stats.
I was gonna say I had to throw Sam Howell on here. Do you know he's second in the league in passing yards right now?
I know. I just saw that. It's
That's
crazy.
Brother,
insane.
he's lifting a Washington team that's not that good.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I did not expect
And
this.
they just were like, hey, we're going to get rid of our best two defenders, too, by the way,
Yeah.
Sam. So go ahead.
And as much as this pains me to say it, the best QB out of the 2022 NFL draft class?
No.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
I mean, there's no doubt, no doubt.
Doug, you got to kick him off the spot, dude.
Hey, I have always been the Purdy skeptic. I should throw that. It was 1 week where I went, I'm on board. Finally on board.
After 5
And
wins
then,
in a
and then
row
they
in the
lost.
season.
And went, well,
Yeah.
It took that for me to be like, all right, maybe he is the guy.
He's had one bad game.
I
He's had
haven't
one
won a
bad
game for a full month.
But you know what? A lot of people aren't mentioning Jared Goff. You got to look at Jared Goff's prices. They've gone up
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Arguably the second best team in the NFC right now. You
They're-
got the Eagles and the Lions right
I
now.
will tell
number
you
one and
what,
number two.
but the thing is watching Jared Goff for as long as I did when he was a Ram. When playoffs come,
When it counts.
Jared Goff turns into a completely different
Maybe
player,
just-
and not in a positive.
He needed a change of scenery. He wasn't a guy that likes to wear yellow. I mean,
think
maybe that's what it is.
His prices
He didn't
are
like wearing the clown uniform.
I think his prices are probably just a little bit above like Dak Prescott.
I think
Maybe
Dak
that's
Prescott's a
changed
lot
because
higher.
Dak is more, but Dak
Dak's
is
a lot
I,
higher. than
I looked
Cowboys,
at
though. It's like Yankees.
preseason. Goff was actually trending higher than him for some cards. Maybe there.
Wait,
was some
so
that he
I'm the only one that gave my 1, 2, and 3. Like, who do you
Well,
guys? Who do you guys
my
give?
number one. My
I
number
named
one
off
is
a bunch.
My number one is Mahomes. Clearly,
Yeah.
not even close. Like it's almost like a tier. That's tier one by itself. 2 would be Burrow.
Yeah, we agree there.
Then it would be Purdy. As far as an
gosh.
investment standpoint, just for growth. I mean, the team's built to win for a while.
They haven't
We've
won
got-
for a month.
That's fine. Sorry, people out of their slides.
They never won again.
I'm interested in Aiden O'Connell. I'm not going to put him on my list, but I do like Aiden O'Connell.
Quarterback of the future for the Raiders.
Not putting him on the top
Interesting.
5. Then I go Herbert. I think Herbert as just the leadership role out there, how the Chargers took care of business on
Leading
Monday.
the losses.
And I don't like Tua, even though he's a fellow lefty. He hasn't picked a big game. He hasn't won a big team. He hasn't beat a big team out there. And
almost beat the Chiefs.
Almost beat the Chiefs,
Almost beat
but
the Chiefs.
lost pretty badly to the Bills and who else? There was a couple other big Bengals, right? They lost to the Bengals.
They lost. Yeah, they've lost some big games. I still
Nobody.
believe in
And
Tua.
I'm gonna say Lamar Jackson.
And nobody's mentioning Aaron Rodgers.
Lamar Jackson was
I
in
was
my
gonna say-
Lamar Jackson was in my top.
Yeah.
He was my number 3.
I was gonna say I am surprised no one said Aaron Rodgers.
I would say Aaron Rodgers. is
I
my
know
top
he's
five.
not playing. I know he's hurt, but
He's already got a
still
Super
an
Bowl.
active quarterback in the league. It does feel like
That's
it is
like-
more like a blue chip investment. I
Yeah,
get it.
that's like asking like every year like when Brady was still active. It was like, what are
yeah,
you talking
Brady's
about?
won,
We're
and then
obviously-
everybody
How
else.
about,
Or-
how about
or-
Baker Mayfield?
Not
No.
out. Not out. Well, there was a shootout last week.
Yeah, I mean,
He's gotten better. Like if you maybe bought low on him, then you should feel good about yourself right now.
Yeah, I
bet
have
it's okay.
one of our longtime customers, Christopher. He just told me he bought like a blue PSA 9 Baker for like $100 or something. He was happy about that. He's a Cleveland Browns.
Did you
fan,
pull
too.
that Baker out of the buyback?
I think I
It
did.
was like number 8,
I think I did. Yeah.
the Shimmer,
Mm-hmm.
3 of 8. That would have been a huge card back then.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's still like $500 or $600 card though. So
Still expensive.
I mean, that's probably. I mean, I may throw C.J. Stroud as a bookend there, but I got to see a little bit more from the guy.
470 yards.
I think the thing with that,
5
like what kind of Dan was alluding to, like since there's not, it kind of helps and it kind of doesn't help. Like there's not a lot of products you can get them in, but at the same time, it's like, well, you can't. You gotta.
Well, I know, and I know 475 is a good accomplishment, but I will be that guy and say that if the defense didn't give up that many points, he's not out there throwing the ball still. So if they're up 31-0, they're handing the ball.
It's going back and
Dude,
forth, and he's being
CJ
tasked
Stroud
with
could
being
not-
that guy,
it-
and he did it.
It's not his fault the defense is giving up points.
No, and he stepped it up, but I'm
So,
saying a lot
what
of
is he-
guys don't get that
Is
opportunity.
he supposed to be like, man, you guys gave up 30 points? Like, I'm not even going to go out there this drive.
The man was tasked with being like, you got to make sure you score more than what, 37?
He had
You have to
40
score 40 points
He
in
had
this game,
40
and he
he had
did.
40 seconds and one timeout, starting at his own 25-yard line, and he drove down the field and scored a touchdown.
That
was Patrick Mahomes
yes.
right there.
I don't see how you're not a believer in him right now. I just
He
don't.
is. I mean, without a doubt,
For the same reason you guys don't
The
believe
best
in Brock
quarterback
Purdy.
draft.
without a doubt, the best quarterback out of this draft.
I got to be honest. Brock has not had a late game drive like that.
Yeah, he did. They missed the field goal.
No, they
don't
scored a
miss a field goal,
touchdown.
but you didn't win.
He
You
threw
don't go
the
like, oh, he got us
game-winning
down.
touchdown
He got us-
pass.
And at
He
the
got us
Bengals,
down here, but it
at
wasn't
the
our
Bengals,
fault.
at home against the Bengals, when he threw those 2 picks,
Look,
he came back and he led a drive
He
for a
has done
touchdown.
that. He definitely has had some drives at the end of the game where I went, okay, he did it. But he's never done anything like that. Never. And few quarterbacks in this league are even capable of doing something like
He's not
that.
playing
It's impressive.
defense, guys. You got to be able to tackle and stop the
impressive.
defense.
The
It's
Niners
incredibly
defense has completely been lost the last
Yes.
3 games. Like
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
where. Like put out a APB for them. They've been
gone.
yeah
Non-existent.
like where like hopefully.
I mean, I don't know how much talent you need to have on a team. Like,
everybody.
I don't.
Well,
I
we're
mean,
going to find out this weekend, aren't we?
Explain to me how they can't stop anybody.
Yeah, like the last 3 games, like the first 5 games, like you guys were on it, but like the last 3 games is like, dude, what are you guys are doing?
Garbage, yeah. It's garbage.
Like the fact that you couldn't put any pressure on Kirk Cousins, who gets pressured every single fucking game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
and the guy who's not mobile. But I mean, Burrow's mobile. I mean,
Yeah.
he got out of a pretty big sack.
He's
that
looking
weekend.
okay now.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Which why
looking
Burrow
good.
to
But
me is the
dude.
clear. I think I feel like we all kind of put Burrow at least top 3, right?
Burrow's number 1 for me. Yeah.
Yeah,
2 for
I
me.
think it's
Yeah.
I think it's Mahomes, it's Burrow.
Jacksonville wins. We probably don't have to talk about football next week, right?
Well, that's we don't have to talk about it.
Well, I'll be wearing a blonde
I mean,
wig,
T-Law
so.
is close to my top 5 at this point. He's getting there. But yeah, I think two is in my top 5 still. I
mean,
just announced him top five.
I think that I don't know if Jacksonville makes a substantial run in the
No.
playoffs, but I could see them winning a playoff game.
No, but they're expected because they won the playoff game last year
Yeah,
against
Bill
the
They had that
Chargers, so
huge
they're expected to
comeback-
go
huge
hard.
comeback game, right?
that was that them beating the Chargers, or is that the Chargers just beating
Brandon
themselves?
Staley, I don't
But
know.
a little bit of both.
Staley.
A
Yeah.
little bit of both. Yeah.
I mean, what did they need? They scored 35 straight points. They went like 7 for 7 on the drives in the second half. It was like incredible.
Yeah, Brandon
Like-
Staley should have not been able to come back
No,
this year,
should have
but
been able to show his face.
I mean, he's probably on the short list of being gone.
he's on the hot list. He's on the hot seat.
Especially if they don't make the playoffs this year, for sure. 100%.
For sure.
And
For sure.
the AFC is substantially better than the NFC.
Yeah, it's getting a little closer with the Lions now, and well, you got the Cowboys at 5-3 after the Lions, and the Niners
Eagles,
at 5-3.
Yeah, and then
Eagles at 7-1.
the Seahawks.
Seahawks.
But
Is
they-
there-
but
is
they
there
got-
only-
they got blown out by 30
They
against
got
the
blown,
Ravens?
Yeah.
Is there any other team that has only 1 loss, or is it just the Eagles?
Just the Eagles.
Just
Just
the
the
Eagles
Eagles.
at this point. Yeah. Just
But
the Eagles.
I just think the AFC is like the equivalent of the Western Conference in basketball.
Well, that Texans division, I mean, all those teams, Texans, Jaguars, Colts, I mean. and
They're all hanging in
Titans-
there.
Titans are even winning some games.
Gardner Minshew mania.
Yeah.
Still hanging on.
It's crazy. So.
Yeah. Invest in Minshew.
No, don't. He's not 4 times the value.
No. Not 4
No.
times.
No, don't. Please don't do that.
Hey, don't. I heard Kyler's coming back soon, so he might be a good.
Kyler
he might
is
be a good
back
one to get
this
into.
weekend. Kyler is back.
And we know he plays a good 8 games, not a good 16 games. So you
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah, he's coming on the back end of the season here.
I think Kyler is
You know,
playing for his career in
Yeah.
Arizona.
so he might be doing well. You know, another reason why I think he might be doing well, and we kind of joke about this all the time, But COD just came out, and it's not getting very good reviews, so he might be like off the COD for
Yeah, I'm gonna skip this year.
That'll never leave him, will it?
No,
never.
Until he bucks that trend. And I just want to put it out at the beginning of the year, we all picked a quarterback that we said their value is gonna go up. Which one is gonna go up the most at the end of the year? C-Rod said Kyler Murray.
Yes.
And I feel like you've got a shot
Yep,
to be
I
the
have a
now.
shot.
Now that it's all coming together.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you know who an
That'd be
egg on
crazy.
my face because I felt so bad for the hatred I gave this gentleman. I
Oh,
picked
Jimmy
Jimmy
G.
Garoppolo.
Yeah,
what was I
that's-
thinking?
Yeah.
I
Did
picked.
Did you guys slip something in my drink that day?
I picked Aaron Rodgers.
You did.
and that actually could turn around.
It actually could.
And who did you
The
pick?
Jets
picked
have to
Tua.
hold on though.
You're the only one that's looking.
I'm
somewhat
right now
smart.
probably.
I see what you guys have to deal with
Yeah.
in San Fran now with my boy Jimmy G.
Oh God.
Jimmy Gizo.
Now you know. Now
But
you
I just
know.
thought the fact that he has Jacobs and Devontae and the Raiders are.
But he's not
you know,
throwing it to
it's
Devontae,
Vegas. The lights are bright all the time in Vegas.
It could have been McDaniels off like his play calling though, so I don't know.
Is this one more thing on Kyler? Because almost certainly, even if he has a nice run here, in fact, the best case scenario is he looks close to the best version of himself, and the Cardinals maybe get a couple wins, but they are probably still primed for the number 1, number 2 pick. And then they're probably like, cool, we can trade him for something. That's probably the ideal scenario,
I think
right?
that
Goes to the Raiders.
I think that contract is so bad. I don't think
It's
they're
a
gonna
bad
be able- I don't
contract.
think they're gonna be able to. I think they would probably just
have to take some of the money.
release them and
Yeah.
If
just eat
knowing
that salary, eat
knowing
that.
Arizona's history, they're definitely gonna draft a quarterback to
Yeah,
replace
they're-
him.
Actually, they'll try out Josh Rosen and
You
bring
got
him
You
back.
got to think. And before we let you guys go here, thank you guys for listening. I also was thinking about why didn't the Jets? I mean, the Jets probably had a conversation about him, right? I mean, hey, you guys are
Had
not
to.
playing him. Maybe week 8 we could use him. So I'm sure there was that conversation. But before I do let you guys go, I do want to give a shout out and a rest in peace to one of our longtime friends, collectors, Ben Aguirre, cardboard icons on X, and passed away suddenly. Was really really sad. But we wanted to put in the show notes the link to the GoFundMe. I know we're actually taking in cards for his son. If you guys want to send out some cards to give to his son loved the hobby. They were always in the shop here opening up packs together. So, so I definitely want to honor his name. One of the nicest guys, always had our back. We always had his back. And, it was actually last weekend that he suddenly left us. So we'll put that link in if you guys want to help out the family. If you guys want to send some cards, reach out to us. We'll get you the address to send to us, and then we're going to give it to him. We have a whole stack of stuff for him. So, thank you guys for listening. And I know some of you guys have followed him on Instagram or X or on Facebook, and he was very active and had the Wall of Pain, which was a really cool collection. It was all baseballs that had been hit by pitch baseballs. So he had a whole collection of different hit by pitch baseballs.
one of the most
very
unique collections I've ever seen anybody do. So very cool.
Yeah. So shout out to him, and So whatever you guys can do, but that's all we got for the hype today, guys. Check us out on Instagram to get in some breaks at Mojobreak.com. Mojobreakshop.com is running 40% off on blasters this week too, guys. It's crazy. They're flying out the door. So if you need stocking stuffers or any kind of gifts, go on to Mojobreakshop.com and check those out. And we'll see you guys next week on the hype.